I got into yoga many years ago in Wales. I just went to a class for fun, actually, initially. My mother was a ballerina, and so she always made me go to classes. I hated it initially. But so I did lots of dance, lots of gymnastics. So I was always used to going to class. And then when I went to university, I carried on that. So I went to a yoga class. And then I loved the teacher, and she was the most inspiring person ever. And she made the classes humorous, and you just felt incredibly amazing afterwards. And also there was kind of like life philosophy. And it kind of captured me. And I stuck at it, and I went on loads and loads of courses and embraced it. And then I met her teacher, who was an ex-coal miner, who got into yoga later in life, and his lungs were 70% full of coal dust. So he basically kept himself alive with pranayama. And
what is pranayama?
Pranayama is the breathing exercises within yoga, and I found that incredibly inspiring. And the classes just grew and grew for me, so I went and studied with him, and then I started teaching at Rookwood Hospital. So Mary used to teach disabled classes and would always need people to go and help, so I would go and help. And then eventually one day they didn't show up, so I had to take the class, and that was the first time I ever taught. Alongside that, I started doing a teacher training course with lots of other people in Wales with the Gitananda school from southern India. So we all studied that. It was amazing, really nice to do it in a group together. And then many years after that, I went to India and I did a Shivananda training. And then after that, I went to Austria and did an advanced Shivananda training. And then after that, I did an Anusara training, which I really loved. So I've done many things along the way. And in the meantime, I studied shiatsu and craniosacral therapy. So I started to really get into the body and what the benefits of releasing pressure and stress are from the body.
Can you tell us a bit, what is shiatsu exactly, and what is craniosacral therapy?
Shiatsu is the bodywork equivalent of acupuncture. So instead of using needles, you use your thumbs or your elbows. But it's a methodology that really stretches out the body. So you release the joints, you stretch out tension. So you have someone lying on a treatment table and you move their body around to try and free up whatever's going on. You use the diagnostic skills that an acupuncturist would use, so you are looking at the different organs. But I see shiatsu as absolutely brilliant for taking out the pressure of the body, our daily pressure, our stress, our tension. And then craniosacral actually comes from osteopathy. It was developed in the last century. It's not that old. It's very anatomical, and it's very good for relaxation, but also releasing trauma from the nervous system. So it's also very good for sleep. It's good for babies. So it's very good for people who are very stressed, where their nervous system is quite charged and they need to just calm down.
And you work in clinic in central London?
So I work in central London osteopathy, and we treat all sorts of people there, from the creative industries to bankers, finance, mums, people who've retired, who've settled and lived in London. So I have quite a broad clientele. So it's interesting. So you see all kinds of people from all walks of life. Yeah, I enjoy it.
And what do you think the benefits of yoga are?
Oh, the benefits of yoga are huge. They affect everybody on every single level of being. So you can you can encourage stress to release from the body. You can encourage the mind to calm down. And then if you want to dive deeper into yoga, you can see it as a spiritual journey and reconnect with yourself at many deeper levels, but also the world and around you.
And where did the idea for this retreat come from?
It came because I've always wanted to do a retreat, and I was talking to a friend, Maze, who I did the retreat with, and we just thought it was a great combination to do the gut health, nutrition, as well as yoga. And I was also in Ibiza last year, and I did a retreat at a place that I thought would be perfect to hire. So it was a few different things that fell into place, basically.
And tell us a little bit about the importance of breath work.
Breathwork is fascinating because there's lots of research that's being done in California at the moment. Breathwork is slightly different from pranayama. It's more, breathwork is for health. So there's a man called Stephen Elliot who has been talking a lot about the coherent breath, where you inhale for 6 and exhale for 6. And they say that's the optimum breath for man, largely because it reoxygenates the body. It's very good for balancing, it's very good for energizing. I really like all this research that's happening because they're measuring through MRI scanners what's actually going on in someone's brain. They're also measuring all the noradrenaline and the cortisol and the GABA. So they're measuring the chemistry that we have going on in our brains that either gives us an alert state or gives us a calm state. So it's breaking new territory, what's going on at the moment or has been going on over the last 10 years. And this coherent breath marries the brain, heart and insulin levels. So it's kind of cutting edge stuff at the moment, and I'm really fascinated by it.
And why Ibiza to host the retreat?
I've been coming to Ibiza for years and I love it, and I find that I can come from London and be quite stressed, and after a week of just being here, traditionally, without necessarily going on retreat, I can feel really refreshed. There's lots of healers here, so you can have amazing treatments. And also just swimming in the sea and being on the island, it's just beautiful. There's something about Ibiza that's very rare and very special and really magical. And there's not many places like this in the world. It's also really accessible from London, and there's lots of flights, lots of cheap flights, so it makes it an easy escape for people, basically. So yeah, it was what you'd call a no-brainer.
Great, thank you very much.